And we're live, man.
Oh, hey, you stole my line, you bugger. What the hell, man?
I had to do that this time.
Man. I don't drink, but I still feel hungover.
Yeah, that was my whole Sunday and probably a little bit of today as well, to be honest. But I feel a little bit better now. But I got to be honest, the last 2 weeks or so has been kicking my ass. But, you know, uh, I had a dealer principal back in the day in the motor industry when I was running the sales division. And he used to say always, all pain is self inflicted. And wise words came from this man, right? So yeah, I just need to sort my shit, I guess. How's things by you, man?
Not too bad. Looks like I've got a new catchphrase because of the young lady in my arm right now. Uh, I told her that if the Springboks won, she would get a piece of cheese.
Yeah.
So she was very excited when the game was over. She wasn't even watching, but she knew.
Yes.
She knew she was getting a piece of cheese. So now everybody is now saying, we want cheese, we want cheese. And it's like, that's becoming like my dog. She knows when it's cheese time, something good has happened. So, yeah, it was. Look, man, what a game. What a way to win the fourth cup back to back now. Um, Peter Steph Toy is the man.
Yeah, 28 tackles, man.
And on
28 motherfucking tackles.
and on paper, we look like we lost the game.
Yeah.
But you could say that about all the games in the elimination for us. But we won. Just the reaction from the players on the field. Sia running up to Cheslin Colby, who spent the last 5 minutes with his jersey pulled over his head.
Yeah. I
And
saw
Sia
that.
grabbing him and telling him we won and it's
Yeah.
okay. The I tried to keep it clean as far as my predictions on the game because I just didn't want to sound like a bad omen. But I had said this when we played them at Twickenham that Barrett's going to get a card.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have to worry about Scott Barrett because Sam Kane took care of that. The captain of their team, red carded, and
he was like, man, let me take it for the team. Let me take it for you, Scott. You can stay on. I'll go off.
It's just like the All Blacks. They've obviously there's. I think I might need to fill out a missing persons report because all the All Black fans that were talking cuck in my comment section, they've disappeared. Like, I know we talked about alien abduction a couple of weeks ago. I think they abducted a lot of All Blacks fans over the weekend because they have disappeared.
The only people you still see whinging is the Poms.
God. And
like every pop-up I get is from like Farrell complaining about something. I wish you would just shut the fuck up already.
I'm done with that whole situation. And I even gave props to the Palms and the French because I will willingly say this right now out loud. I think if the French or the English had met the All Blacks, it would have been the exact same result for the All Blacks. They were better. The English and French were better than the All Blacks, in my opinion.
Look, I mean, I think we're going to have a split decision on that. I don't think the Palms would have beaten New Zealand, not this time around. I don't think they would have been able to muster it up in the final.
Yeah.
Especially, the way they played against us. They really played their best game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've seen in the last World Cup that they cannot muster it up twice in a row, right? So I honestly don't think they would have taken it to New Zealand, but the French might. Yeah, the French might have. Yes, sure. I could have seen that happening.
I just think that, like, I'm glad, and I don't mean to say, but like, I'm glad we got to see our boys who a couple of, especially we've brought it up many times in our conversations. What about that Dion 40, man? Come on, 70 plus minutes, 37, 38 years old, only World Cup
Yeah.
final, and he comes out and he just plays bang up. Like, I guess age is just a number. It's just in your mind because that guy was just,
Look, he was great as a player.
yeah.
Trash as a lines out man. You know,
Oh, don't
like
get me started, man.
so. I mean, we really couldn't do much about nothing in that lineouts. I mean, we lost. I don't know how, but as a player, yes, I do agree. Monstrous effort, great game. He really took it to those guys, especially considering he's not even supposed to be a fucking hooker. Okay, and I mean, the guys in the UK were still whinging that Bonambi was allowed to play. He played like all but 1 minute.
Yeah.
Like, he played
And
a fucking minute.
I think I've never seen lineouts contested the
Yeah,
way they were on Saturday. They were all contested pretty
yeah,
much. And
yeah,
like I said, I'm glad it was our guys with the smiles on their face because you saw, like, we all saw pictures of it. Guys like Aaron Smith, this was it for him. Guys like Sam
yeah,
Whitelock, this was it for him. And he knew it. And it was just kind of, but on the flip side of the coin, we now have a 25-year-old on our team that's won 2 World Cups.
yeah. And we got a 20-year-old that's won his first World Cup.
Yeah, so it's like there might be in our lifetime a couple of guys that lift 3,
Yeah,
and it was just it was good to get the win. Obviously, not the most beautiful of games. I still think it's quite. If you saw the state of Andre Pollard's face at the end of the
yeah.
game, his face told the story.
Can I tell you that guy's face always looks the same after every World Cup final because the
It's just,
last time around he broke his fucking cheekbone or something.
yeah.
This time around it looked like he broke his cheekbone once again. I don't know how hard that knock was, but I mean that guy looks the same every
Well, he
time
had
the
that
World Cup
that
final.
gash that
Yeah,
gash across his cheek, and it was just
yeah,
like,
yeah. That needed stitches, man.
yeah, and it
But
got done quickly apparently. So,
look, I know. Like for me, guys like, for instance, Peter Steph the Toy, monstrous effort. But look, man, we need to just acknowledge that Quagga Smith, in my opinion, should have gotten that award for best player of the year, man. Look, I know you think RD Sevilla, but just the way that Quagga Smith changes the game when he pops up. And he's generally only there for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, right?
yeah.
That's his time. But for those 20 or 30 minutes, he's a bulldog that just refuses to let go of anything. I don't know how to describe that man, but fuck man, he's such a good player.
There was a moment during the game where Peter Steph makes the tackle, Quagga makes a right step, grabs the ball, strips it, and it was just like
Yeah.
it was almost like it was scripted. Like they were like, "Hey, let's do this on this guy," and
Yeah.
like it's like I said, obviously every game is going to have its fair share of controversy. Wayne Barnes apparently getting death threats after the game. I
Yeah.
am of the personal belief that I don't think a single one of those came from a Kiwi because
I don't think so.
yeah, because I mean they're nasty when it comes to rugby, but they're not that bad.
Yeah.
But like it's just
Honestly, I think it was from a Brit or a French person. That's the
probably
two countries I would be guessing that it came from, to be honest.
pounds or euros were bet and lost. I know a certain individual that bet several $1,000s and lost on the game.
Yeah.
But it's like, look, man, it wasn't a beautiful final. Obviously, it wasn't the prettiest, but the icing on the top of the cake and was seeing Sia walk up, grab it, and lift it up, and just being like,
That's always the goosebumps moment, man, when
And,
the
and
fireworks goes.
I'm getting it thinking about it again, man, just because it was such a beautiful moment, and it was just,
Yeah.
and it's the realization kind of afterwards that really the only people that were cheering for the Springboks were Springbok fans.
Yeah, man. Can I just reiterate a little bit what you said a little bit earlier, right? About the referees. Okay, I don't understand why Wayne Barnes is getting so much flack because number one, he's not the only flipping ref on the field. Okay, there's a TMO, there's linesman, there's everything is there, right? There's like four guys on the fucking field at any given point in time, right? Wayne Barnes is just the one closest to the action, but the best overall views from the TMO. And guess what? All four were Englishmen. Okay, all four of them. All right. Why Wayne Barnes is getting the flack, I don't understand because that was a team effort. Number one. Number two, I honestly believe that they didn't have a bad game, and also Wayne Barnes didn't give the red card. He
The
was told by the bunker system that it's been upgraded to a red card. Why is he getting the flack for this? I don't understand. That's why they put these things in place so that the ref doesn't make a bad decision, right? And I mean, you can obviously see that Sam Kane's tackle was directly to the head, okay? Whereas Sia Khaleesi's tackle glanced off the shoulder on upwards. Okay, so there was
There
mitigation,
was
right?
mitigation, yes, yes.
So I don't understand why people want to try and play it off as something different because at the end of the day, it is what it is. And also, just by the fucking way, right, we all had to shut the hell up in 2011 when Australia beat us in that, I think it was the quarters or something like that, right? And guess what, right? That was some bad refereeing over
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And we also had a team that year that probably could have taken the World Cup. Okay. But we had to shut up and, just move on and
yeah,
wait for the next time in 2015, which in 2015 we played pretty cuck, to be honest. But
yeah.
anyway, um, so what I'm trying to say is that, so people just need to learn to accept what happens. Like if you go back and watch my videos, right? Like majority of my videos, my channel, there's very, very few times when I will call out a ref for anything. Okay. Because I'm of the firm belief that your team must just be that much better so that the ref cannot screw you. You know what I mean? Um, and yes, sometimes some bad calls are made. And if it's obvious and blatant, of course I'm gonna point it out. But the 50-50 calls and the stuff like that, why am I gonna be sitting there crying about it? You know what I mean? Like certain things you just have to let slide, man. There's going to be errors. Sometimes somebody's going to hit somebody in the head, and that type of shit happens.
I will say this, okay, and this is something we can both agree on, and this podcast stands by the message I'm going to say. This is 100% an anti Nick Berry believing podcast.
Hundred
Fuck
percent.
Nick
And
Berry. Fuck
and
that
Andrew
guy
Brace
forever.
and Andrew Brace. I feel the same about
Exactly,
Andrew Brace, to be
exactly.
honest.
So like you know what, like the try that got called back due to the Savea knock on, Wayne Barnes didn't even see that.
Yeah.
It was his linesman that mentioned to him. They went to the TMO. TMO was like, yes, it was a knock on. But another thing I wanted to go back to was when Wayne Barnes goes up to Artie Savea and says, I guess you're the captain now. And he was like, the card has been upgraded. And he was like, to a red. And we had
Every,
talked about this at Twickenham. When the card came out, you just saw Artie's
yeah.
face just drop immediately.
Yeah.
Artie had big eyes, turns around, and his face drops immediately. And I knew right then, okay, we have a chance
Yeah.
because we've broken him. And I
Yeah.
mean, like, did he deserve to be World Player of the Year? Obviously, Quagga is great, but I'm not angry about that aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's, we'll get to it later, obviously, in the very last part at the end. But what I wanted to ask you was, where did you watch the game at, man? Where were you at? I know you sent me video, but where did you watch the game?
So I was by my cousins and them. and a
Okay.
couple of people came over. And just on that question of what to a red, like I promise you, probably 50% of people that attended the party that I was at all said no to blue, just to be ridiculous. Because what type of question is that? He said upgraded. There's no other color but red there,
Right.
bro. But anyway, so yeah, I was by my family members. My missus was actually with her family out by the dam in Vol Triangle. They had some family get together, but yeah, I went to my cousin and them, and yeah, a bunch of friends came over. It was a fun night. We had quite a bit to drink, and of course, Sunday I was recovering the whole day.
Well, so like for those of the podcasters who aren't in South Africa, it was a 2 p.m. Central Standard Time kickoff here in the States. It was a 9 p.m. kickoff in South
Yeah,
Africa. Like, so it was already late in the day, anyways. So I'm sure I've seen the footage of it from various people. People were
yeah,
drunk before the game even started.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
did you
we
got,
started at about 1 o'clock, man. We started about 1 o'clock.
was there a
Started.
bribe?
Yeah, of course there was a bribe, man. What kind of
What
question is that?
I've lost my head, man. I got this Texas hat on, and I'm losing my senses here. What did you guys throw down on the brie? What all went on the brie?
Well, there was some chicken, some ribeye steaks,
Ooh,
some boerewors,
of
and
course.
some ribs and some more steak, but other steaks. I don't even know who brought that because I brought the ribeye. So, anyways,
And
no,
then
no, this some nice meats.
what kind of beer was being drank, or was there no beer? Was it Brennus and Coke straight
It
up?
was fucking brandy and coke, man. We were popping that shit back. And shots, and quite a bit of shots. I don't know if you
uh,
ever, when you visited South Africa, ever had a milk turkey.
yes, I know what
You
it
know, we
is.
yeah, so we had quite a number of those, and some of those, like some red type of thing that the one girl had. I can't even remember what it was, but anyway, so yeah, we had some shots, and then of course some more brandy, and some more brandy, and some more brandy.
We'd gotten some food delivered. I had a burger, some chips with cheese on them because it's America and we eat cheese on everything here. Um,
Yeah,
but it wasn't, yeah, like my missus sat here on the couch with me. It was just me, her, and the dog. I could tell for her, not obviously being the hugest rugby fan, but she does understand aspects of it now because of me,
yeah,
obviously. And she was kind of like, "This is kind of a boring game," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's what I expected it to be too. It was either going to be a blowout or it was going to be trench warfare." Now, when it comes to
yeah,
trench warfare, I'm sorry, New Zealand, your Maori Warriors are great. But our
yeah,
South African soldiers are even better when it comes to the game of trench warfare, and that's obviously the end result. I think that it's going back and seeing the clips and the things we see Roger Federer going into the sheds with the team, celebrating with the
yeah,
team. We see, I want to say beleaguered, controversial a bit, but President Cyril Ramaphosa wearing the Springbok jersey,
yeah,
congratulating the players, giving a big ass hug to Faf de Klerk, and giving eye contact to Captain Sia Khaleesi, basically saying thank you for what you've done. And you could tell the head of World Rugby, he really didn't like handing us medals. He
Can I tell
really
you what? Can I tell you what? I don't give
what?
a fuck what he
Fuck
liked.
it, exactly. Fuck it. We've got 4. So then we go to the afterwards. Obviously, you're hungover. I do have to mention after the game, I decided to go to a local sandwich shop here and pick us up some sandwiches for dinner. And I'm standing in line, and the door opens, and the guy comes, and I hear him muttering under his breath, "Oh fuck!" Very thick Welsh accent. I turn around. He's wearing the All Blacks 2023 Rugby World Cup kit. I'm wearing the Springboks 2023, and I turn around and I look at him, and he just like does this like, oh, like no. so I asked him, and his daughter attends university here because we've got two really big universities here, and he is Welsh,
Yeah.
but he lived in New Zealand for 10 years, and asked him what he thought of the game, and he was like, the best team won.
Yeah.
He was at least knowledgeable. We sat down. They were a little short staffed, so it took a bit for the sandwiches to get made.
Yeah.
And he watched it at his daughter's apartment, and he was like, I just went to the mall, walked around the mall, didn't see a single person. I wore my Springbok jersey everywhere that day, not a single mention from anybody until I
Yeah.
run into a Welshman in an All Blacks jersey. And it's just kind of like, how poetic is that? Because I guarantee you, if I had been in New Zealand or South Africa, it would have been nothing but talk. And that shows you how far America is behind when it comes to the game of rugby. They
Yeah.
re-showed the final on Sunday here on broadcast TV.
Oh wow.
Like, it wasn't even live. The live version of it was on cable. I obviously streamed it through NBC Peacock, but
Yeah.
so like the next day, obviously you're hungover. You don't really have a whole lot to say about that. Monday, you've got work, obviously.
Yeah.
I think the joke is how many people called into work today in South Africa, because I heard it was a lot of people did.
Look,
But
I mean, the fact of the matter is, I don't even know. Apparently, Ramaphosa was going to be addressing the nation tonight. Probably telling us all get back to fucking work. Everybody, everybody was obviously trying to get him to call Sunday a public holiday, which of course then falls to the Monday, and everybody wanted to recover. But fortunately, everybody by us pitched up for work. They were all there at 6 o'clock sharp.
oof.
Probably a little bit, probably a bit earlier than that already as well. Yeah, so because obviously the whole day yesterday, everybody's been fucking googling, like, is today a public holiday? It's like, well, did Ramaphosa say something, And yeah, apparently he's addressing the nation tonight. But last night, of course, nothing was said, and of course that meant that everybody's going to work. I don't know anybody that actually skipped today, to be honest, and I don't know whether or not there is going to be a public holiday being called, but it's definitely not today. So everybody had to work.
I because I'm not there, I'm here. Social media is really all I have to go off of. Some of the footage that I saw, I have a girl that I follow who lives in the Western Cape. She was at a mall watching the game.
Yeah,
The fans, and it was fans of every background, black,
yeah,
colored, white, yellow, everyone, absolutely giving everything for these guys. And like,
yeah,
I don't remember, maybe because I wasn't big on social media as much in 2019, but I feel like that's what made this one even more special, because I really felt like, especially the younger generation, the ones that were maybe still teenagers or single digit kids 4 years ago, they're really big on social media, and they were just
yeah,
showing the celebrations all across the country. People jumping in the pool, dads had too much to drink. It's just, and for me, that's what really made it special, was just the
yeah.
fact that like you saw everybody everywhere, either drunk as shit or drunk as shit or drunk as shit.
So, so a little bit of a story with regards to that. So my sister works for one of the major security firms in South Africa, and so she is actually one of the heads of them, and so she was called in to come to work as well because there was an event that they were doing at the Mall of Africa. All right, so
Okay.
I don't know if you know the Mall of Africa,
What,
but
where is that? Where is that for the?
it's in Midrand,
Okay. Okay.
so between Joburg and South Africa, Pretoria,
In
sorry.
Pretoria. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so the security prepared for about 3,000 people to come to the mall for that event. All right. There was 90,000 people, 90,000
Whoa.
fucking people that was there.
Whoa.
And so yeah, my sister of course only got home at like 3 o'clock in the morning after that, from work. But 90,000 people, and they expected only 3,000, right? That's how insane it was. You don't want to know the videos and pictures I've seen of traffic there, it's like was just a fuck up. But the funny story that I heard was, I don't know if you saw the video clips of here outside in Meyerton or somewhere. There was a bunch of trucks where they did like a salute for all of the Springboks, but it's like green and gold type of colors on the
Okay.
trucks, or green and like a beigey or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so they had all the trucks, and then last, like, or in between, I can't remember exactly where it was. There was like this small truck, right, like a baby truck.
It
Okay,
was
and that had
that
it
was
puffs.
yeah, I saw that, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, hey, dude, like he is the giant slayer, the little engine that could is what Foth. And he look,
yeah,
everybody on the team, it was a team win. It wasn't an
yeah,
individual effort. Obviously, Andre with all 12 points off of his boot, but Peter Steph-Toy getting man of the match, unquestionably a great
yeah,
performance. And it was everybody had to pull their weight.
yeah,
Everybody had to pull their weight. And I'm typically very critical of Jasper Visa because I feel like he's a bit of a hothead. He gets off emotion. He actually came in and just played. The bit that he played was
yeah.
insane.
Solid. Yeah, it
I,
was solid.
I wondered about how are we going to take Eben out, man? It's Eben. You have him play, but no, they bring in RG for
Yeah.
Franco, and then you bring in John Klein, and it's like, take in mind, for those that don't know, John Klein was on Ireland in the last World Cup. So, hey, Ireland made a final. One of their players did fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But like,
Well, South African born,
yeah.
but yeah.
And he came in, and him and RG were like, everybody played to the maximum ability. When Sia got the card and went off for 10 minutes, I was curious, who are we going to bring into the scrum? Because with the All Blacks, they were bringing in Jordy Barrett, who's like 6'5". He's as tall as a
Yeah.
log.
Yeah.
Who did we bring in? Do you remember who we brought in?
Damien Delendi.
That guy went to Milnerton, okay? They fight apparently a lot. Like, I've been told that is one guy. Everybody says Eben, but I've also been told Damien Dialende is tough as shit, too. So obviously he was slightly better than Jordy at the scrum, but we get the afterwards. You kind of see everybody. It's kind of recovering. And then you guys were asleep already. We get the World Rugby Awards ceremony where we get to see, apparently, at 5 a.m., Arhi Sneeman decided to give Eben Etzebeth a haircut. I don't know if you've seen this yet.
No, I haven't.
He has the same haircut as Archie Sneeman right now. He has
That
like
fucking mohawk thing.
the faux hawk thing. Yeah. Eben shows up to the award ceremony where he is nominated for World Player of the Year with a mohawk. And he looks goofy, but he still looks like a guy that, and I'm wondering how hungover are these guys?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, 100%.
because they drank all night.
I'm pretty sure they all took turns to like down that cup
Did you
worth
see?
of alcohol.
Did you see Rassi pour like the entire bottle of wine in it and just sit there and like skull it, dude? I'm just like, God, Rassi, like, man, like, Damien Falemza, Gaza is what he goes by on social media. He went live on his Instagram in the sheds after everybody was decent.
Yeah.
And was just going around talking to everybody. And it was great because it was like, you saw the speech. I don't know if you've seen it. The speech that Eben gave in the sheds after the game to the team, where he was like, "You're the greatest team on the planet, guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy." And then it's like you just see like Damien going around and like everybody, even the guys that didn't play, guys like Grant Williams, guys like Caden Moody, everybody's celebrating. Everybody's happy. You get the photo of all 5 locks, and that's going around. Everybody's like, what's the name of this group? What would be the name of this group if it was a band or something like that? And like everybody, Foth, once again, in his budgies, his flag budgie, which I will admit I do own a pair of those as well. I don't look as good as Foth in them, obviously, because I'm fat and covered in tattoos. But you just saw that. The celebrations, everybody's happy. we get to these rugby awards. We see Malcolm Marks looking like Timmy from South Park with the stilts.
Yeah.
And we get to and they start going through it. And I get Artie, I get it. Okay. I get Farrell getting coach of the year because of the 17 wins. I had to be told by people that, like, hey, look, this is from October to October. Because for me personally, I didn't see Farrell as coach of the year. You took your team to the exact same place they've always been, to the quarterfinal, and that's it. All these 17 wins don't mean shit. You took them to a quarterfinal. The end. Yeah, you beat the world champs in the pool.
You fucking crack me up, man.
Like, you beat the world champs in the pool. I get that. That's fine. And I mean, like, so did the All Blacks in 2019. Where did they finish? Yeah. Like, it doesn't mean anything. And it's like I said, I get Artie. I didn't even get Mark Talea really getting breakthrough player of the year. And why the hell was Kurtley Arenza not nominated for that? Yeah, 13 tries in 15 games, man. He had more tries than games at one point.
Like, I remember, yeah.
And, I mean, I wouldn't even put Manny Libok in. I mean, he's great, but I would have put Kurt Lee as my nominee as far as
even
that.
Kanan.
Kanan Moody's, yeah. Maybe. And I just – it didn't bother me until we got to the 15, to the World 15. And that's when I really – and I had to make a video about it and everything, like how – 10 of the 15 players of the World 15 were done in the quarterfinal. They were done in the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
We had.
They're like, y'all are going home, but thanks for being the greatest.
and I feel like the awards. I always feel like there's bias towards the Northern Hemisphere, but really, I feel like there's bias towards the All Blacks and the Northern Hemisphere. It's never on us. And I got very angry. I made a video about it, and I basically said, keep your fucking awards. We'll just take the trophy.
Yeah. Look, I mean, to be honest, though, bro, I don't give a fuck about World Rugby Awards, to be honest. I mean, we've seen times when people like Cheslin Colby was nominated, and he didn't even fucking like what's going on, or he wasn't even nominated. I can't even remember, man, but there was like something going on, and that was just after Razzie had that whole video that came out. So of course everybody was like, fuck the Springboks. So these guys were playing like their best rugby like ever, and but to be honest, that doesn't really stay in the cabinet for 4 years now, does it? So
you're right.
At the end of the day, I don't really give a fuck about that. So keep your awards. We'll take exactly what you say. We'll take the cup. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, and it said a lot when Eben made a public statement about it, which was Eben, who's been nominated 4 times for World Player of the Year and hasn't won once, said, these are for individual achievements. We'll take the team one. We'll take the team one, which is the cup. And what a masterful thing for him to say, because that's the truth. These awards are for individual achievements. We'll take the team one and go on our way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have upset me about this World Cup, from the fact that the person who presented the cup in the opening ceremony was not a player from the winning team. You had Dan Carter bring it out. Now, I've been told that the reason that was because Louis Vuitton was the sponsor of it with the case, and he is a Louis Vuitton sponsored athlete. You can't tell me that Beast and Rock, he's part of the Jay-Z family. That Rocka brand, he's part of that. Rock Nation Sports, he's part of that. So is Sia. Dude, you get Beast to take that sucker out. He held it 4 years ago. He lifted it 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost from like day one. We got no respect in this tournament. We were never – World Rugby did not want us – I saw the look on the guy's face when he was hanging. He did not want to give us these medals.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's – I get why you're saying, like, fuck World Rugby, because that's how we're treated. It's like – it's almost like you would have liked it more if we lost so you could shit on us, but we won and you still shit on us.
Yeah.
That
No, look, I
that's
mean, the funny thing is, right, is that if you really want to be like laughing at people, then you look at somebody like Clive Woodward, right? That's been going around slamming the box forever and a day. Now he's come out saying
Rassie
that
should be our new director of rugby.
yeah, Razzie should come over and direct our team. Like, and I'm like, you must be fucking joking.
Yeah,
Like, like really? Don't be an
it,
idiot.
and it kind of goes to we celebrate, we enjoy the time off. URC is already cracking in. I'm starting to watch that a
Mm.
bit. But do you feel, in your personal opinion, do you feel that the foundation that's been laid by Rassi and the last 4 years of this team, do you feel it's a stable foundation?
I do believe it's a stable foundation, and I mean, if you think about it, there was another news article that I read where they said that they're not looking to replace a coach at the moment. Razzie is happy to take over as head coach again. For the time being. So at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. For the Springbok team. And I do think that that the breakout players, even though they might not have featured in the actual final, some of them, and some of them have, I do believe that those guys are the guys that's going to be taking this team forward. So, based on what their history in the last couple of years have been, and some of them maybe only the last year or so, I think really that they had that time to really see the vision that is Razi, like the type of meticulous thought planning that he does, and outside of the box type of thinking and all these type of things. I think they are better players for it. And even if he does leave, I think that Razi's legacy will be what he leaves behind, instilled upon those players. So, but I do think that the look, we've discussed this previously, where you mentioned that you think it would be internally a coach being appointed. I still believe that Ackerman is the right person for that team if a guy like Nino believes. Um, but yeah, it is a sad thing because I mean, look, everybody knows my opinion about Ninoba, right? But I mean, those two have been coaching together for many years, and they've really followed each other around. And I'm just nervous that he might be pulling Razzie over to Ireland as well, or to whatever team at Leinster or
Yeah.
whatever team he's going to. So
I,
we'll see.
I'm also just of this personal belief that it was kind of the debate. Like, okay, we obviously know this was Dion Forty's only shot. This was Dwayne
Yeah,
Vermeulen's last time.
yeah,
Same thing with the All Blacks. This was Aaron Smith, Sam Whitelock, Brody Retallick. This is a lot of those guys. C is only 32 years old. And
yeah,
this is something I brought up with another follower of mine when we chatted a bit earlier today, which is when you saw Artie Savea accept that award, he had like a busted up face.
yeah,
Okay. The players that had played against him the very same time the day previous, they looked fine. I we have a captain that tore his ACL
yeah,
and 3 months later comes on the field against Wales and completely just lights out and played even better than I felt that he played leading up to the injury.
yeah.
I feel like maybe that's something we don't talk about Rassi establishing as well, is that we have guys that they just seem to be bulletproof. Like they can get the shit beat out of them and be fine. Like it's almost like if you see an injury with the Springboks, it's a real, certifiable, I'm on stilts injury, like
Yeah.
Malcolm Marks. Like, it's not. It really makes me wonder how bad was Andre Pollard's injury to not even be named to the initial squad,
Yeah.
because he came in and you can't tell me that guy was hurt. Like, he hasn't played like he was hurt at all. Like,
Yeah.
he came in ice cold veins and did what he needed to do. And I like I said, I have the belief that, like, the foundation, we have a captain that is not only loved by the fans worldwide, but is just a good human being. Like, there's nothing controversial about Sia. There's
Yeah.
no cocaine. There's no having sex with women. Like, you don't see that in the bot camp. It's why I think Elton Yonkers will never be a Springbok ever again. Because if you do that, it's almost like we keep our house in order.
Look, man, don't get my hopes up.
It's just, but you know what I mean? Like, we don't have, Sia doesn't have
Yeah.
anything controversial. Rachel Khaleesi, even on the plane, as they were getting on the plane, Jesse Krill, because they're first class, they get like the seats that we've never sat in because we're not first class, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
little cubicle looking things. And apparently Jesse Krill was right next to Sia. Jesse gets on his phone, pulls the camera up and brings it over like the divider wall. And Sia's just like sitting there. I think he was like FaceTiming with his wife.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's so many countless videos. We saw it even in the games. Like, he's in the tunnel, the kids are in front of him. He always shakes their hand, gives them a hug. Hey, do you want to hold my hand and lead me out onto the field? Like, Sia is just a superhuman being. Like, he's just a good guy that leads by example, no controversy. And then even in the game, at one point, Sia's the captain, but Andre was making the calls. He was telling guys, move up, move. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what kind of captain has that mentality where it's like, okay, the British and Irish Lions series, he let Dwayne Vermeulen talk in the huddle one time. He was like, shut up, this guy's talking.
Yeah.
Like,
no, look, I mean, the thing is, and that's why Eben, I would imagine, brought it up about taking the team award, right? Is that these guys are always talking that nothing is about the individual. You know, John Smith also said it when he was walking there on the fucking path with John. What's that tall ass motherfucker from Scotland?
Are you talking about the Scottish lock guy that
Yeah.
has the
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but anyway, so they were walking, and then he was like, you know, the mentality that's in that team, it's not about the individualism. You know, it's nothing is about the individual alone, right? It's all about teamwork. It's all about the team collective reaching a common goal. And at the end of the day, that's really what we need to remember, is that is how Sia leads as well, right? Is that he does not have an ego that he is the captain. You know, he knows that there's other senior players that can maybe instill some form of inspiration into the team, or if your name's Eben, fear into the team, you know, whatever it may be, you know, there's something that somebody will bring to the team, and you know, he allows everyone to put their input. I mean, unless your name is Villy and you're talking back to the ref, he'll tell you to shut up and go back to your fucking corner. But you know,
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the name pop up on the screen, Valemza LaRue, I'm just like, please, Billy, don't say anything to the referee. Please shut the fuck up. Please. This means everything. Please shut the fuck up. Like, and he never really, he was in it a little bit, but like, and it was almost like they intentionally kept him away from the official.
100%. So now I was just like, you know, So I mean, he has his place. As a captain, but he also knows when to call upon the strengths of those around him. So no, for sure, he's a humble man. He's a good man. I have a lot of respect for him, and we can confidently say that he is the best captain that South Africa ever had. I mean, 2 World Cups consecutively, which nobody ever has done before. Number two, he's got the love and respect of people the world over. This is people that hates the Springboks, but they still love
They
Sia.
love Sia.
All right, so no, for sure he's a good guy, and he's a good leader, good role model, and I think anybody that looks up to him can really be resting assured that they got a good person to model after.
Definitely. So obviously we will come back next week, guys. We promise. The rugby talk is over for a while. For
Yeah.
those of you who are not rugby fans in that world, this was like the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup.
Wait,
This
wait,
was
wait, wait,
all of
wait,
that.
wait,
This
wait,
was
wait, wait,
all of that smashed together.
wait, 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 wait. This was a World Series, actually including the fucking world. Okay.
Hey, man, there's Cubans on this team. So, if you don't know, the Texas Rangers are playing in the World Series. It's their first time back in over a decade. I don't really follow baseball as much as I used
Yeah.
to, but I am wearing the hat just because. And then, if you're curious as to what my background is, this would be my college here, man. That would be Boone Pickens Stadium. This is
Texas Rangers. I would
no,
have I would have fucking guessed that's the Tennessee Titans fucking captain.
no.
If I
So
just looked at
this
it.
is the hat for the Rangers. The field in the background is Boone Pickens Stadium, Oklahoma State University. It
Yeah.
is I think they see 60,000, 55, 60, maybe 65,000 to go cheer for guys not getting paid. Because we don't pay amateur athletes. But anyways,
Yeah.
I had to kind of put that as my background. My dog, surprisingly, where is my dog's passed out behind me. So she
Are you sure she didn't go and get some cheese?
no, because we keep it up in the fridge. So but we'll be back obviously next week with another
Yeah.
exciting topic. We appreciate you guys. I know it's kind of a little bit of an odd ending, but I kind of feel
Yeah.
like, hey, we've closed this chapter. 2023 Rugby World Cup champion Springboks,
Yeah.
and we'll open it back up again when
And
we
just
need
just
to.
just a stat for those people that don't know, that just want, we know Americans love stats, right? In your
Oh
sports.
yeah, oh
Okay.
yeah.
So just some stats for you guys, right? So South Africa has basically won 50% of all World Cups that they attended. Okay. They have also played 2 less World Cups than any other team that is actually on this, in the World Cups, because everybody else was playing when we were sanctioned against. Okay. So let that sink in. 50% of the World Cups we attended, we won.
We
All right.
win.
4 World Cups. We broke the stigma of the 12-year cycle.
Damn,
We
dude.
we only managed to give away 1 try in any of the 4 World Cups that we've beaten, that we've won. All right, we've only ever conceded 1 try in a final.
You know what's really the craziest thing in all of this, man? The All Blacks fans that are under the age of 35 have only seen 2 of their 3 World Cups.
Yeah,
I'm 41 and I've seen all 4 of ours. And it's like, if I was 35, I've seen
yeah,
all 4 of ours. If I was 29, I've been alive for all 4 of ours. Like, it's
yeah,
like those numbers, man. Yeah. And it's an amazing statistic. We have won half the time we go to the World Cup. We end up winning the thing. And like, we've only been bounced out in the quarterfinals, I think, once, right?
Yeah.
2011,
Yeah. That
because
I can remember anyway. So
we made the semis in 15. Yeah,
yeah.
but either way, it's an amazing stat.
And that
50.
was a ball hair loss too, by the way. It was fucking like this. And we would
Yeah,
have seen another final. So
but it's a testament to a team that has gone through so much in a country that's still going through so much, and we're about to be less than a year before I'm back. I will be back in October of next year. Um, damn, bro, we're gonna eat so much, man.
you're gonna eat more brine meat that you can fucking handle, man.
You, you, you're you're gonna find out why we're the obesity capital of the planet here, man.
gonna
Anyways,
Yeah,
I
but you
I
remember the meat that we sell makes you a big boy muscular wise,
uh
right?
in all my travels, I think I've only been to one other country where I've seen people like here, and yeah, their coach just quit yesterday. Do you know what country that is?
Look, man, I knew that motherfucker was going.
Sayonara, Eddie.
Yeah, no, see you
Like,
fucking later. Go to
did you
Japan, bro.
his record as a coach? 2-5.
Yeah,
His two wins coming against Georgia and Portugal.
he probably feels like that's a good number, man.
And his
Like I don't know, is he going to some high school? Because I don't know if Japan will be doing a good thing and taking
well,
him back.
and it's almost like, and then I saw this like stat line, and then it was like arguments with the press, 126. Like he just,
Look, I
oh,
gotta be honest. I gotta be honest, bro. Great college wouldn't appoint him.
I think he might have got his. I don't think he's going to Japan either. I think that's it.
No.
Nobody's gonna hire him after this. And I have to say one last thing about that. All you US fans that were salivating at the idea of that man coming here, really? Really?
They should. They
Yeah.
should. That who they look. I mean, I know this is blasphemy, right? Okay, but I mean, if they really want to buy someone, buy Razzie. Okay, at least this man gets shit done, right? But don't you fucking dare, America, try and buy Razzie. Okay, I'm just saying
He's a national treasure.
he's a fucking national treasure.
We'll trade you we'll trade you damn, we don't really have anything to trade for him. We'll give you 50 Cent and Eminem for Razzie Erasmus.
Not a fuck. Keep those motherfuckers. Look, look. Okay, you need to understand one thing, right? Well, you understand it, but your American followers might not. Okay, that rugby in South Africa is a fucking occult, bro. It's a cult. Okay, and the like Razzie is like the god of this cult. Okay, you cannot take him. You cannot. All right, this man has a status of probably the most important person in the world for so many people in South Africa, right? That's how important this man is, right? Like they would vote for him for president, okay? They would vote for him for global domination. If the Klingons ever had to attack the fucking world, they would send Razzie to go sort them out. You know what I'm saying? You cannot understand the type of uh, following this man has in South Africa in terms of the utter belief and the utter passion for this sport that we call rugby. There's nothing in South Africa, like literally nothing, that can bring a people together. Okay. Nothing, nothing, not fuck all. There's nothing that can bring South Africans together from all culture, creeds, races, sizes, doesn't matter. Okay, there's nothing that can bring them together than what the Springboks can. Now, imagine if you are a uh, coach leading that Springbok team to back-to-back World Cup winning ways, right? Bringing them from the cusp of complete annihilation in the years of 2017 and early 2018, and really turning them around to what they set out to become. Uh, at the end of the day, there's nothing you can trade all your oil for us. We will still not give you to them. Give him to you guys. So, there's nothing that can beat that feeling, because with all the struggles. Now, John Smith said this right the other day in that same video, and he said, and it was maybe not as profound, but because we all know it, but maybe your guys don't know it. So all the shit that we go through, right, in the daily struggles in our lives, come Saturday afternoon, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you open a couple of beers with your mate and you watch the rugby, you know, that feeling makes everything just worthwhile a little bit longer. It just gives you that hope to push through the next week again. And so this is a beautiful game, man. We've spoken about it endlessly, yourself and I, on WhatsApp, and where we said, this is really a sport for everybody, and it really can bring a lot of peoples together. So I really hope that your American fans would really give it an opportunity. If nothing else, just to try a game or two. Don't go watching highlights on fucking YouTube. That doesn't tell you anything about the bloody game, unless you want to just go and watch a video to learn the rules. That makes sense. But get a friend, go watch a game, follow the guys in America, man. You guys got some local teams.
Yeah.
Um, just
It,
go see what it's about. It's really interesting.
I had brought it up in my pregame to the game, and it was like we were talking about that exact thing about it mutes everything that's bad that's going on. And I think this particular one, like, I live in America, okay? COVID was bad here, but we were okay. We got
Yeah,
stipends from the government. I never lost my job or anything like that. That shit was not good in South Africa.
yeah,
You didn't have a rugby team for a year. You didn't play in the
yeah,
Tri Nations. You didn't do any of that. I felt
yeah,
like that's what rode on this game. The last 4 years, my family fell apart. COVID happened. All this shit happened. We lost Gareth Mason. We lost G-Man. I felt like, okay, all of that can be flushed or at least muted a bit if the Box can win. And they did. And it did. And it was like, shit. Like, it was all fucking worth it at the end of the day.
yeah,
Because these guys and they went out there and they know it. Like, and that's, I think that's the unique thing about the Springboks in particular, is that you talk about it brings everybody together. It brings a guy living in Denton, Texas, and a guy in East Rand, Johannesburg together. That's how strong the Springbok is. That's how strong that brand and that team
yeah,
is it
man.
brings people from continents apart into the support of the greatest team. We can say it, the greatest team in rugby right now, all time, right now, is the Springboks. And yeah, it's a good feeling, man. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, man,
Um,
for
so,
sure.
but we
I
will be
mean, I
back. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry, man. Sorry, man.
No, no, no. I was just gonna say, yeah, man. At the end of the day, we will for sure treasure these moments for as long as we all shall live. I think, as old men one day on our stoop, sitting there having a boeretroos. If you don't know what boeretroos is, it's a cup of black coffee, sitting there on your fucking porch, just like looking out on the sunset. You're going to tell your grandchildren, in my day, 2023,
Yeah.
the fourth time, you know, you you're gonna have some stories to tell, man, and it's just a lot of people live vicariously through this, because there's nothing else to look forward to. So
Yeah.
so I just want to say thank you to the Springboks. I don't think a lot of people will be like, yeah, you guys did great. I actually just want to thank them for, and I know I complained last time about who they're doing it for, but honestly, I think a lot of people are grateful for the what they bring, uh, other than just the sport, which is a beautiful thing, but on its own. But I mean, they do really, like, they represent everybody. They, like, people live through them, through their passion and their fears and their anger and their angst and whatever it might be. And it's a beautiful game. They once again did us so proud, and we just want to I think, take that moment and just say thank you, because it's really, it was something special to be part of, like, for me.
Yeah, no, me too, man. And even the lady here, because she knows it means it's cheese time when the Bucks win. So
Yeah,
it's yeah, man. It's just you can't say enough what this team means to you and me.
yeah,
And I think that was really, I think this is a kind of a, like I said, a good way to kind of end this kind of chapter of the podcast. The last two
yeah,
weeks, obviously, all rugby related, and we'll move on. But like,
yeah.
that's how important it is to us.
Yeah. We will, of course, be coming back with some crazy ass topics on our next podcasts. And we'd like to thank everybody once again. Like, I know I want to. Keith might not want to, but I mean, I know
Yeah,
I know I want to thank everybody, for joining us on this journey, man. Like, we might not be seeing you guys talk, because I mean, this is not a live podcast just quite yet. We'll maybe do that in the future. I don't know. It depends on how our time schedules work. But just still, we'd like to thank everybody for their time that they spend listening to us ramble on for hours on end about nothing at all. And sometimes it's something, at least. But it's all about fun, and it's all about really just airing our views in our little corner of the world, where wherever we might find ourselves. And yeah, so just thank you to everybody that's out there listening to us. And I really do hope you guys continue to follow us on this journey, because it's really, it's as fun for us to make it as it probably is for you to listen. And I mean, if you listen through an hour of our podcast, of course you're enjoying it. So I mean, otherwise you won't be doing that.
yeah, yeah. I appreciate every bit of it. This has become
Yeah,
like, with me stepping away from the local professional side. I've talked to my missus multiple times. This has become like my, I love doing the rugby thing on my own, and it's cool that we get to do this together at times. But like, it's just become like a situation where it's like, hey, you get to hear. Sometimes we say the exact same thing. He just has a funny accent, or I have a funny accent, depending on who you're talking to. Because it
yeah,
can go both ways. It can go both ways.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's yeah, man. So till next week, we'll see you guys
Yeah,
soon. Cheers, guys.
lekker. Cheers, guys.